Welcome to the Kiwimana Bay. This is episode 132 of our beekeeping show, Kiwimana Christmas Wishes.
Kiwimana are beekeepers from the hills of the Waitaki Ranges on the wild west coast of Auckland in the North Island of New Zealand.
We produce and sell beekeeping equipment, provide beekeeper services and education. So, who helped us in bringing this show to you?
This show is made possible by our amazing supporters.
Thanks to, and our best wishes and festive cheers to you all at this Christmas time. Robin O'Connell,
Justin Bumstead,
Nathan Buzzinger Beekeeping,
Greg Parr,
Karen Shields,
Christopher
Brown, that's awesome, Gary, Dan McGivern,
Lisa Morrissey,
Tony Lum,
Daniel Bockris,
Tim Wilcox,
Rebecca Wade,
Cameron Miskin,
Irene Townsend,
Trish Stretton,
Gilbert Coe,
Malcolm Sanford,
Carolyn Sloan,
John Paff,
Goodney Hunter,
Barbara Weber,
and Michelle Lassie.
Excellent. Wow, what else, Gary? We got some new supporters, a bit of a shout out.
Yes, shout out to Cameron Miskin from Newcastle in Australia, who started supporting the Kiwimana Buzz. We heard from Cameron after episode 131. Great show. You could say it was awesome. Sad to hear about Margaret's jandals, so decided to become a patron so she can buy a new pair. Keep up the good work. Thanks, Cameron. It's awesome.
Wow, it is pretty amazing.
And has there been any update on the jandal incident, Margaret?
Well, the latest is this, Gary. The missing jandal and distraught beekeeper were reunited by a caring customer who identified the missing jandal. Amongst the grass at their apiary, the jandal was found. The jandal was then delivered to Kiwimana HQ. The jandal showed no sign of any injuries and was fully intact. So, beekeeper and jandal reunited.
That is fantastic. I'm surprised it wasn't damaged with the puppy chewing it.
Indeed. And the added bonus is now that Cameron has joined us, Gary's going shopping.
I shall try and buy some puppy-free jandals.
Kiwimana Christmas Wishes. We wish for you good cheer, good times, great adventures, and are grateful you have chosen Kiwimana to be part of your beekeeping experience. Hey, Gary.
Yes, absolutely, Margaret. You hopefully have a great Christmas, everyone, and we're hopefully going to have a good break, eh?
Yeah, absolutely. But, Gary, what does it mean to be an organic or natural beekeeper? Okay, so at the moment at Kiwimana HQ Apiary, we're working on the building up of the beginner kits, which we received as nucleus colonies, and now we've started moving them into full depth boxes, Langstreth, with Hoffman frames that are wax and wired. And the girls are really starting to draw out lots of comb and lots of nectar production, so really awesome. And our first one actually left last night, eh, Gary?
Yes, that was picked up by Ellen and Mark. It was awesome, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was fantastic. And we also put a little video out there on the big internet waves, or whatever you call them, about the video of our visitors coming to check out their beginner kits.
Oh, yes. I'll put a link in that for that one.
Yeah, and we loved having them here and seeing children becoming part of the whole beekeeping adventure is just awesome. So we're very grateful that we're part of these people's adventures. And my activities have been also treating the hives, which have not been treated for 6 weeks. So my older colony queens have been treated, and my new season queens have also been treated, and everybody is looking just awesome, Dale.
Oh, it's fantastic. And you know what I saw in that video too?
What?
I saw Nelson. Nelson the seagull.
Oh.
Can anybody else spot him?
Yeah, let us know, guys. We'd love to hear if you do spot what we're talking about. Let's hear about that next time. And with the benefits of keeping the bees nice and healthy, the populations are huge. So organic beekeeping has meant for us that we got our hives through winter. We have had 100% success with our matings, and our matings were done on the wing. And our new season queens are just going crazy. So I believe that there is a lot of benefits to being an organic beekeeper. And one of the other things, Gary, is that a lot of the people that have joined us in our introduction to the world of beekeeping and who are now taking up beekeeping, they're all treating their bees the same way. So maybe that is helping our colonies here, because a lot of those people were neighbours, eh?
That's true, Margaret. So they're probably helping the environment, eh? Because that's kind of similar to what Ron Hoskins did in England, eh? Because all the neighbourhood had the same genetics, and it really helped keep variety down.
Do you think that that the fact that people are using the organic acid vaporization in our area is helpful too?
Oh, I think so, absolutely. And keeping the numbers down, so the numbers, if the numbers are down, then the numbers don't get transferred around the neighbourhood, do they?
Yeah, that's true. And inside the actual hives, I have seen that they have been working on the varroa management in the cell. So you can see where they have opened a cell where there's varroa. And if the larvae is affected, it's just been left there, and then they will drag it out. So it's been awesome. So for us, being organic is really important, because we really don't want to be causing resistance in the varroa mite. So how are we preparing for what's coming up for the bees? Well, this month we're expecting a lot more nectar production, so we are adding more frames and boxes, and we're also integrating the new frames with existing frames that are in the colony, so that it encourages the girls to come up, because they're already scented as part of the hive, and they start working on them a lot quicker. So one colony has just done, over about 4 days, has nearly drawn 3 combs. So I'm very impressed with that.
Can you explain to people what you mean by the frames are already scented, and how do you achieve that?
Basically, when you put frames into a hive, what the bees do is they generally clean all the surfaces. You know, they just do their cleaning. And what it means is that they will propolize it and start drawing comb. So it's starting to be scented of the hive. I've just noticed that when I do that, it's not such a shock as just plonking a box on top. And sometimes they can sort of avoid going up there until the last minute. So I like to bring some frames that have already been worked on by the bees. They've got a bit of propolis on them, and the propolis and all the scent will just be moved up into that third box. And I usually put an empty frame right in the middle, and then on either side of that I put a frame that has been drawn.
Oh, from a lower box, you mean?
Yeah, from a lower box.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, it's hard to imagine that. Yeah, I can understand that. So, like, you get frames from the bottom box and you move them to the middle of the top box, eh?
Yeah, but you don't use the centre frames, because we run our hives with 2 brood boxes effectively through spring and summer. And because we don't like to confine the queens, so they have freedom to go wherever they want, basically. But generally, when you've got 2 full-depth Langstroth hives, they only run in the first 2 boxes. And that second box is generally what I call a multi-use box.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks for explaining that.
I hope I did. Okay, and bee behaviour at the moment is all about nectar collection. And there's still a bit of pollen coming in. They're looking pretty busy with that. But bee behaviour is just constantly getting new brood coming through, new bees going out, and the populations are growing. So our activities really have to be related to dealing with that expansion and ensuring that we aren't confining the bees too much so they abscond. And the results that we're looking at is some honey. I'm not adding the space on too quickly. I hope that we get some honey production and that we can take it off before the Tootin risk comes into play.
Which comes to play this week, doesn't it?
Yes, end of December. And what are the benefits of us running honeybee colonies organically or naturally? Well, the proof is in the pudding. You know, it's survival. That is the key thing. And our mission is to save bees, one hive at a time, by helping you keep honeybees alive.
Amen.
Amen.
Christmas time thanks.
Thank you, Gary, for being so awesome. And I do love you.
That's good. And thanks for helping move the bees last night. That was awesome. And thanks to all our customers out there who's supporting our work throughout this long year so far. And, well, the season's not over yet, is it? It's just starting, really.
You know, we sort of have had support through winter as well, with customers buying their gear to be prepared for the season coming up. So it's been an awesome time. I'm just so thankful and grateful for what we've received this season so far.
Yes, and also a big shout out and hugs to all our roving reporters out there on the front lines, reporting in from bee yards across the world, battling bees, battling weather, and sometimes battling snow. So thanks, guys, for sending in your reports. That's awesome. And super shout out to our...
Super!
to our roving reporter, Joe, who's recently had a new daughter, Serene. Congrats, guys, and Merry Christmas.
Congratulations, all right, and this is for you.
Hey, 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 it's our favorite day. May we say happy birthday.
And to you, listening to the show. The show would not be possible if you were not out there listening.
Yeah, and with you listening and emailing us and all those things help motivate us to do all this, and we're just very grateful to have you here today. Oh, that was a new one. I like that one.
Anyway, it's a new year.
Yeah, and what are we doing going forward, Gary?
We're doing a new format. Be part of the change. We are relaunching the show in January 2019, and we're doing a quick survey. Can you help? For less than 3 minutes, you can be part of the planning of the New Look show. We want to know what you find the most useful in our show and incorporate these into a new format, which is coming in January 2019. And check it out at kiwi.bz/survey. That would be awesome.
Yeah, that's where you can go in there and let them know all the monkey business. Did you like that, Dale?
I think you've just confused half the audience.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys, but it's on Survey Monkey, isn't it?
Survey Monkey, we're doing the survey on, and so that'd be awesome if you could do that and be part of the change. Beekeeping news you can listen to on a cruise. Okay.
And discuss the views that you have regarding the news with your friends and amuse.
This is right. And the top story this week is an interesting story of a beekeeper in Egypt who is using bee venom to treat patients. On the rooftop in the outskirts of Cairo, Omar Abul Hassan raises thousands of bees, not for honey, but for their venom.
So is he actually looking after the bees as well?
He is a new beekeeper. He's been keeping bees for 5 years, and he's raising them for, I'm guessing he's getting honey as well, and he's raising them mainly for their stinging capacity.
Oh, okay. Tell us more.
Well, he's using it to treat pain and cure illnesses such as rheumatism, which is arthritis, isn't it?
Yeah, rheumatoid arthritis is a little different from osteoarthritis.
And he's had no medical training, so hopefully he knows how to use an EpiPen. Hey, Margaret?
Indeed.
Okay.
I mean, this is something that you've got to be aware of.
Yeah, because if someone's allergic, it could be quite disastrous, couldn't it?
It'll cure a lot of things.
It'll cure everything.
Cure life.
Anyway, he treats around 5 patients a month and uses 6 bees per session.
So I wonder if they're aware they're giving their life.
No, I bet they're not.
Indeed.
It's an interesting topic, but check if you have an allergy before going to one of these practitioners, guys.
Yeah, I think that's very important. That's a good point.
And you've got to be very careful because if you've got an allergic reaction, it could be fatal, couldn't it?
That's right.
Heard much about apitherapy, Margaret?
Not really. I just know that in Western societies, a lot of them are electrocuting the bees to get the bee venom. on glass plates and then collecting it and then using it in cosmetic products and healing balms and stuff like that. So, yeah, because the bees don't die, they say it's harmless.
Well, in this case, they do die because their stinging gets ripped out.
Yes, in this instance, you're absolutely right.
And we got some feedback from Roderick Rouseabout.
I hope this dude carries an EpiPen in case of anaphylaxis. I'm betting it's never crossed his mind.
I hope it has, but yeah, we don't know.
We don't know.
Be careful out there. Bob Hines said, apitherapy is the world's best kept secret. I've heard this too. And I've heard that in ancient China, they used to give bee stings on the actual acupuncture points to solve those issues, with your liver and stuff. So it'd be interesting to see if, because that's where, they reckon that's where acupuncture started.
Oh, actually using bees and not needles.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's, I went to a chiropractor once and he told me about that. So that's interesting.
That is interesting. What does Julie Sterling say?
It works great on arthritic joints and tight tendons. Yeah, I think it would.
Because I think that what happens is that the sting itself causes the body to start sending healing, the white cells to that area, doesn't it? So that it can start healing that area. So that's probably what's happening. That's just like a body's natural response to that.
You think initially it would be quite painful because it would make it swell up, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but then that's the reaction of the white cells, isn't it?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, well, if anyone out there's got arthritis, maybe give it a go and report back. Only if you're not allergic, but remember?
That's right. Be careful, guys.
We don't want to hear that.
Indeed.
Yeah, anyway. And Greg Burns, he's from the Country Beekeeping Show, isn't he? And when I was building boxes this year, my table saw jumped out at me and got my finger. I was lucky to have it sewed on, but had no feeling in it. I noticed that the more I got stung on that finger, the more feeling I had. I've got almost 60% feeling, which is fantastic. Oh, that's awesome.
Well, that's awesome to get that feeling back because, we need that in our hands and our fingers because we use them for so many things. So I'm just so pleased for you that was able to be done for you because, man, that just made my whole body just, I just can't imagine having to deal with that.
I think I saw the photos of that and it wasn't pretty.
Oh, my giddy aunt. Well, I'm glad you got stitched up there. Did you like that? Oh, no.
Comedy gold.
Comedy gold. Anyway, I'm glad that it's intact now and that it's getting better. Fantastic news, Greg.
Yeah, awesome, Greg. And Carla Hale, what does she say?
She says bee venom has been used all over the world for centuries. I have used it many times in my practice.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you'll have to get back to us and tell us what you do. Are you an epitherapist or something else?
Yes, Carla. That'd be interesting to find out. Awesome. Well, that really did cause a bit of conversation, didn't it? Because there was people who were thinking, that this is a bit of a quack. And some people were really quacked up.
Yeah, that's right. Let's
It
move along.
is Christmas.
It is Christmas.
Okay, guys. What's next, Gary?
7 pretty plants that bring in bees and good bucks. What did you discover about this one?
This is a great article. It was from the New Zealand Gardener, and it's about 7 plants that you can use to attract bees to your garden. The article says, although not a perfect fix for the permanent problem of pests in the garden, say that quickly, I tell you, a good population of beneficial insects will reduce damage and improve the overall health of your backyard environment. Now, this is all about having diverse flowering in your garden, but you know what I've noticed in a lot of these articles is that, interestingly, herbs are always featured very high on the list, on the top hits, when talking about a healthy garden for honeybees. And I think that, in fact, it's good for all pollinators to have that diversification. But this article is actually trying to say that it's trying to get the bugs that are good and bad bugs attracted to those certain plants so that they have some food so they don't overrun if you've just got one plant. So it's like creating a diverse planting, and the benefits of that are that you're not encouraging just one pest plant.
Oh, so you mean like having one plant that's really attractive to a lot of pests, you mean?
Yeah, it's like you're not creating a monoculture like they are in America, like having just one plant for 10 miles. There's no diversity, so therefore it's attractant to one major pest, and therefore the justification for using chemicals. Whereas if there was a diverse range of plants, then they would have beneficial insects and the pest insects all getting fed from this multi-use garden bed. So I reckon this is a really good article, and yes, I think herbs are always the top hit when talking honeybee health.
Yes, true, but I mean, not many gardeners have a monocrop in their garden, do they?
Well, no, I think that's a really good point, Gary, and I agree with you that that is the case. But yeah, I think that's just the comparison. Going from diversity is actually the best way to offer up that health for the bees.
Shall we go through the 7 types?
Yeah, you can do that. You're really good at that.
Okay, number 1 is buckwheat, which I've never really seen.
Me neither, and I'm surprised that they bring it up in the article because it's from New Zealand Gardener. I wonder if they've got this from another source.
We should try and find that, see if we can get it.
One thing I did also find on this article is that I wish there were more photos.
There's lots of photos.
Yeah, but of each one, because there's no picture of buckwheat.
Oh, okay. No, that's true. And the next one is sunflowers.
So it's interesting that sunflowers, they actually face the sun. That's why they call them sunflowers, don't they? Because as the sun moves across the sky, don't they move their...
Don't all flowers do that?
No, not all of them.
There was a recent study from the North Carolina State University and the University of Massachusetts that actually showed that sunflower pollen actually helps bees ward off infections from specific pathogens. So there's another reason to plant sunflowers, eh, Margaret?
Oh, absolutely. And that's a good find there, Gary. And okay, after sunflowers, what's the other ones?
Okay, the next one is marigolds. Oh, yeah, always a favourite.
Oh, I like marigolds. They're lovely little plants, and they actually do ward against pests, don't they? Is it the white butterfly one with the green caterpillar?
What study is that?
That's no study. That's life study. My own experience.
Okay. And number 4, can you say that? Scaraboso?
Scarciosa?
Oh, okay. And these are lavender tone flowers, but are they lavender?
No.
Just toned flowers. And the next one, salvias, which is a big group of 900 strong plants. What's a common salvia?
Sage.
Sage?
This is quite interesting because it's a herb. And herbs, I said that in this article they talk about that, and herbs are always featured really highly if you want to make a really attractive garden to bees. Yeah, herbs, thyme, rosemary. What else is there? There's chives.
Okay, and the 6th one is fennel, which is a close relative to dill, cumin, and coriander.
Yeah, so, I mean, again, these are all food used in food and cooking and that, and you know why, because they're tasty, they're fragrant, they produce wonderful smelling leaves, and very healthy for bees to have such a diverse range of foods available to them, because it is food. These plants are actually food for our bees.
And the 7th one, named after you, Margaret Daisy.
Yeah, this is like a daisy that's in New Zealand is considered quite a weed, but it's actually really cute. It's a typical yellow centre and white leaves and just awesome. And they should have actually put a picture of one in there. But
they should have, eh?
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a good article. So what you could do is, it's got the Latin names as well. So you could Google those, and that will probably get your local plant name, because all around the world, I find the Latin names are consistent, aren't they?
Yeah, the Latin names are consistent, but yeah, it's like the normal discussion about a plant. It can be like calendula and a marigold. They're effectively the same thing, but called different in different countries. So, yeah. So that was a really good article, guys, and New Zealand Gardener put that one out. So I think that's worth having a read. And if you want to plan a garden, consider what they're offering in there with those flowers. So thanks, guys.
Absolutely. Did we get any feedback about that?
No feedback. Lots of people read it but didn't say anything. So we've had that a few articles that I think people just enjoy them. Oh, yeah. Wow, that's cool. And so we've come to the end of the show, guys. And do you love what we do? Did you find something useful for your beekeeping? Do you want to help us to produce more content?
And it's easy to become a supporter. You just go to kiwi.bz/banana. And also just a note that we use Patreon for our supporter site, and it actually operates in US dollars.
If you become a supporter, you get a mention on the show, Gary.
Well, and you also get these shows a whole week before everyone else.
Yeah, awesome. A few privileges there.
It'd be awesome if you could do that. The show notes for this podcast are kiwi.bz/132.
Oh, that's awesome, Gary. And yeah, we've got some things to be getting on with, haven't we?
Well, yes, Christmas is happening.
Christmas is nigh.
Christmas is around us, all around us. So we have to enjoy that, enjoy time with our families.
And we hope you guys have just a great time. And we just want to wish you warm Kiwimana Christmas wishes, and take care out there. And we will see you after the New Year's.
Oh, and we'll be back in a couple of weeks with an interview with Tracy and Paul from South London.
Yeah, because at Kiwimana, we never stop.
Absolutely. And if you want to listen to that show, go to kiwi.bz/subscribe to learn how to subscribe to the free show. Merry Christmas!
Daniel.
Oh, see? Are we going to read them alternately or what?
This is great, guys. So
No, I'll start again from Lisa. You're moving the frames going from the... an interesting... go through...